Neovio here, and welcome back to the first video in a long time. If you're wondering mentally, or you probably typed it somewhere and forgot to comment it or something, I don't know. You're probably wondering, why have you been uploading so much? Quickest answer and the best answer is life. So lots has happened lately. So my school did a school trip, which is what this video is going to be about. Family matters. And fact is, I've just been hanging out with my mates lately. So yeah. And yeah. Anyways, on to updates. I've run out of things to say. So updates, here we go. Okay, so update number 1. If you can't tell by background, I am actually... So if you remember when I did that cheese puff standing up short, I was sat there in the corner of the sofa. And they were stood there. Or were they stood there? I don't know. Another thing is... Oh yeah, and usually I'm mostly there or in the other room. But yeah, for today's and a couple of videos for lately, I will be doing it here because it's easier. Update number 2, I think. Yeah, update number 2. If it's 3, I am sorry, I am a dummy. Is tomorrow is my mum's birthday. So happy birthday to my mum. Love you lots, mum. Yeah, so a while ago when I did my brother's birthday as a video, I then looked at my calendar to see how far of a gap is until my mum's birthday. And when I noticed it's tomorrow, even though I thought I had more time, annoyingly, I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to be working on a separate video today for my mum. So, hope you guys have a wonderful Easter. Hope you guys have had a good Easter actually, anyways. But, in the meanwhile, let's get this story started. Booyah! So, before I get this part started, let's have some context quickly, shall we? To make things more sense. So, being in year 10, we also have to not only worry about our GCSEs, we have to worry about going to college or something. So my school did a school trip where we was allowed to go to Bournemouth Uni and our area, the AUB, as it is for short. And that day, I decided to write a journal log, because originally I was deciding between, do I turn the day into a video, or do I create the video as I go? I decided to log it all down in my notebook, and I thought I'd tell you guys when I get home. Pre-warning, this was a while ago. If you're in my school and you went on a Bournemouth trip, you'll probably remember the day. Or if you didn't go on a trip, you'll still probably know the day. But I completely forgot what day it was. If I ever set up comments on this video and I remember or get told it again, I'll comment down below. And also, so when I finally decided to turn this into a video, because I was on the coach next to Cyan Pyro, I asked him, hey bro, if I turn this into a video, should I use your normal name or your username? Because then they won't know it's you. But he told me he would rather it be his username. So that is why I wrote Cyan_Pyro and then blacked out his actual name, because that was just for the mental note. Now I think about it, yeah, that wasn't a smart idea. But, and also, you guys see how many pages I did? So this 2, 4, 6, 7, almost 8 pages of notes. So I'm going to have it in front of me, and I'm going to just read it out as I go. But I might end up just changing my phone sound so you guys can see me better. Okay, so I know this all under a name, Journal Log 1. So I will read this straight off the paper like it's a script. So straight from the paper, it says, today my school did, well, you ain't know about that whole going to Bournemouth Uni. So basically, on the coach, I was sat next to Simon Pyro. We were sat near the very back, so there's the very back row, and then there's that second back row. Me and Simon Pyro were here. We were on the right side by the back. We had a bunch of girls, I think, behind us. So we were just chilling. I think he was playing his game on his phone or listening to music while I was drawing. I don't know what he was drawing, I didn't pay attention. But whilst I was logging this stuff down as I went, I was listening to music. Shawn Mendes, Nightcore, the usual. I don't know if that playlist is on public yet or not. I have no idea. Probably not, because it's a different playlist than what I usually have. Who knows? But we was just chilling. I was writing this down. And literally, I will show you. So I wrote a journal to possibly use this for a YouTube video. And I probably will. But since the journey is only started, I won't have much to write. Everything that came to this, I wrote in that. But as we were on the coach, the girl behind me, I'm not going to use your actual name, but I'm going to use, first instance, I'm going to use the name Babs. So Babs, she's most of the time, well, to my girlfriend, Shyla, she's not the nicest, but she's quite nice to me, actually, half the time. She gave me a lemon cake because she had so many. I'll get onto that later. But we actually went past my hometown, not here, my other house, because right now this is my stepdad's, if I haven't said that in any previous videos. But we went past my hometown, Littlemore, which is where I grew up from, I think 8 to now. And I was quite excited for this whole university trip because I always value my future and whatnot, because it gives me a glance and a higher advantage. Let's see. Yeah, sorry. I have had no prep time for saying this, just saying. Oh yeah, so when I was writing this, I got a bit of deja vu when we got to a certain point. And this was a couple of hours into the trip, because I took a break here and there from writing. And so when I left the house, because my phone wasn't fully charged because I was using it before I left because I was all stressed and panicky that I was going to be late, we had to be at school by 8 o'clock. Otherwise we would have missed it and would have been in so much trouble. So my phone was at 98%. By the time I logged it down of what my phone percentage was, it was at 77%. How crazy is that? And we at 9:12 we basically entered Bournemouth. But now, well, we went past Smith's Toys, and I didn't really know if that was Bournemouth or not. But then I finally found out, yeah, we weren't even in Bournemouth. Yeah, we were nowhere near. We was on our way, but nowhere near. And when I went past Smith's Toys Superstores on the coach, I got massive goosebumps all up my arm, back and chest, and my legs. Even I feel like my brain was shaking. I was that nervous and excited. It was crazy. But luckily I was able to keep my calm, keep my cool, and yeah. And then a couple minutes later, when I actually get into Bournemouth, I write how we've entered it, but we got a bit stuck in traffic. Surprisingly, Bournemouth can be quite busy when you've only just entered it. Well, at 9:21 we got stuck in traffic, so. But luckily it was only for 4 seconds, I think. And then we turned up at the university car park, where we got dropped off. We took all of our stuff in. I had my usual Iron Man. Hang on, let me get the bag. So I had this bag, which if you go to my school with me, you know I get called the Deliveroo guy, or Deliveroo by other kids. But I had that bag on me, with all my normal stuff. So we took all of our stuff with us, And yeah. So when we got to the actual campus itself, because it was like a 5-second walk into the campus, we got split in. We was in one giant group. We got split into two groups of 30 people. So one group. So there was quite a few boys, but mostly girls, surprisingly. So there was only like wait. So there was like wait, hang on, I'm trying to think now. Because 5 of us had to go from the other group into the second group. So, and because no one would volunteer, I volunteered myself to go into the other group. Not realizing I was the only boy in that group at that time. Yeah, I didn't really think that through. And then 4 girls, the 4 of them that sat behind me and Cyan, decided to do what I did and go on the other group. And then the Cyan and my friend Logan were like, "What are you doing, game? Why are you going on the other group?" I was like, you guys were being chickens and didn't decide to swap on the groups. So, yeah. And then we got set into separate rooms, 2 separate rooms, and we had to take this pre-survey of what we already knew about college. Now I realize it. I'm in secondary school. Why am I thinking about university and college when I've still got year 11 to go? That's way too much stress. Schools, hold on now. Schools, 2 things. 1, are you trying to make us kids have mental breakdowns and stress moments? Because people like me who have ADHD, which I know quite a few people do in my school, do not stress and ADHD, they do not mix well. But yeah, so, and then after the pre-survey, they showed us a PowerPoint presentation about college. And they made us answer a few questions, saying one of them, the first one being, what age would we go to uni? And I know that my answer's in here. I would go to uni at maybe 16, 17 or 18 years old. And then the second question was, what would I study? This was before I found out you're only allowed to study one subject in uni. Because I thought, oh, we get to study as many subjects as we want. No, we're only allowed to study one. So I put in my book, tech, art, and coding. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do art or coding. And question 3, I don't remember what it was. I just remember putting the number 16 down. And then question 4 is what's the difference between hiccups? What's the difference between uni and secondary school? I put uni, you can stay at the school campus, unlike most schools where you have to go home. Oh, and there's no uniform. So you're gonna be if you go to uni with me, you'll probably see me wearing this or a Ben 10 shirt I made, or just randomness. And then they showed us a timetable of what we'll be doing, so we got there at 9:45, and at 10:45 that's the pre-survey and workshop, which was a whole budget quiz. Then we'd have break from 10:45 to 11:30. Then we'd get two different. So the 2 groups got a separate tour each. We got split into 2 more groups. So the 2 groups became 4. And then we had 2 different tour guides. The first one I got was a art study. Well, a uni girl called Molly. I think it was Molly or was it Holly? Either way, one of the 2. And she gave us a campus tour around AUB, which, oh my god! Ooh, did we knock the table there? And then, after we did a whole tour about AUB, we got a second tour guide to take us on a tour around BU. why are the lecture rooms so big in BU? Like, how? They must have massive echoey rooms. And then we got a Q&A with the tour guides from AUB from 12 o'clock to 12:30. And then we had lunch until 1. Now, final workshop until 2, where we went home and got back to school at 12:15. And that was the timetable what happened. But there's still 1, 2, 3 more pages of notes. Oh boy, why did I write so much? So then I made a new update about how we had the tour in AUB. So Holly or Molly, whichever one it is, I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong one, she gave us a tour first, well, my group. So she first showed us the accommodations, and then the fashion and costumes department of AUB, which, ooh, I've never seen so much costumes in my life. That's coming from someone that kinda still likes to cosplay. Well, I don't do it professionally. I do it as more of a one-off joke kind of thing. And then we got shown the Central Media Store in the South House, where I don't really know what South House means. If you do, that's good. And then we got shown the library, which I would love a library that big. Like, it was like this house times 3. If it was all just flattened onto one floor, it was huge. And then we also crossed paths with the other group that got the other tour. He was kind of cool. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, and after we saw the massive library, we got shown the illustration and architecture department. I felt at home. Like, I genuinely felt at home. And then we got shown the student union, which is basically the clubhouse for all the students if they have problems, well-being problems, or just want to meet some people, which is probably where I'll be most of the time. And then that was also connected to a fine arts room, which I felt so calm. Yeah, usually I'd be all this energy, but I felt really calm and like a normal teenager for once, which does not happen normally. So yeah, and like their art rooms were massive. They had the fine arts room were literally just spaces you could go to and paint wherever you want, work on projects and everything. And they're definitely bigger than my school's art rooms, because we only have 2 art rooms. They had like massive ones. We have like size of this front room times 3.5. And yeah. And they're open for an hour from 8 to 9 o'clock every day. And then we got shown the makeup and modeling section. And oh my god, they were so realistic. I was like, are you sure you didn't just behead people or monsters and whatnot and just place their heads there? It was really cool. And then after we got shown all that, because there's lots to see, I probably didn't know it all down. Can I just say, I asked lots of questions. I was surprised. Then we got finished the tour shown of AUB, had a short break, and oh yeah, we also got after we got shown AUB, we started looking at the BU tour, which showed us the football house, well, the football turf, and the hang on. Oh yeah, they also have a pool. My school, can we get a pool, please? Like, that would be lovely. But yeah, there's pool, life-sized Sully. Oh yeah, so we enter this main room, and literally by the entrance there's a life-size Sully. And you would think Sully would be like up to here, like ceiling height. No. He's like, I think either this tall or this tall. I don't remember. Bro's a short king. Sadly, there was no Mike Wazowski statue. Sully got a bit jealous and nommed on his entire existence, so no Mike. And we also got shown the computer labs, which is on the 3rd floor, which was really cool. I was jealous. And then we got shown which is known as the Fusion Building, which is what had the life-size Sully and computer labs, even had a canteen connected. Oh boy, was I excited. They had so many seats. I was like, is this a military base or something? They also showed us the indoor gyms, which were really cool. But I ain't going in there. See all this? I'm keeping all this. I'm keeping my scrawniness. Because I may have a little bit of muscle. They ain't staying for long. They're going to be deflated quick. And then we got to show the Sportster, which is larger. And then I found out we're only allowed to pick 2. But if we're lucky, we're able to pick... No. If we're lucky, we get to pick 2 choices of what to stay. But it's mostly just pick 1. And then we go back to the room we started at and had our Q&A. And it turns out, in the student union, you could create clubs, well, as they call, societies. So if 3 people that all have interest in the same thing want to start a society, they just can. If the topic doesn't exist, they can create a society about it. So if there was one about aliens and alien technology, like, for example, a Ben 10 society. Hang on, let me just like Jesus. So, for example, since I love Ben 10 and I know a couple of people that do, if they were, me and 2 others that like Ben 10 would want to create a Ben 10 society, we could. No one could stop us. So I thought that was really cool. And then we went for a nice, quiet, cool lunch break. And I sat outside. It was quite relaxing. And then for our workshop, we was just doing research about it. And they got to play with giant game representative about going to uni. And for some reason I decided to make a doodle about a pattern that I saw in the lights. I don't know why, but I did. But anyway, that's the end of the story. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me talk about my experience at Bournemouth Uni. This was definitely one I was excited to do. Took me a while to do it though. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. And I hope you guys have a good Easter. Peace!